Hello, dear students. We will continue our lecture of evolutionary biology. So, last time we have seen the isotopes, that is carbon, uranium, and potassium, their decay and half life of various isotopes. Now, we will continue the half life of radioactive isotopes. We describe the amount of time and that it takes half life of isotope in in a sample to decay. And in the case of radiocarbon dating, the half-life of carbon 14 is 5730 years, and the half-life is a relatively small number, which means that carbon 14 dating is not particularly helpful for very recent dates and dates more than 50,000 years ago. Means you can identify the age of more than 50,000 years old things, and another is a carbon 12. But these are the uh, best ways to identify the life of the, or to decide or determine the age of the olden things. So we can use a formula for carbon dating method. Carbon 14 dating method is T is equal to log of n upon n1 upon minus 0.693 into T 1 half. So where T 1 half is the half life of the isotope carbon 14, and T is the age of the fossil, of which we have to decide the age of the fossil, or the date of the death of which we are think to decide the age. Then if the fossil has 35% of its carbon 14 still, then we can substitute values into our equation in this way, and we can determine the age of that particular olden things. So this might be 8680. So the fossil is 8680 years old, meaning the living organism died before 8680 year old. Phylogeny of horse. In the study of these evolutionary aspects, horse is the best animal, which gives us a very good link, and we have very good evidences with us that the horses are evolved from the olden hippus species, how that we will see, and the fossils which we have with us provide the evidences that organisms from the past are not the same as that found today, and they demonstrate the progression of the evolution. So scientists date and categorize fossils to determine when the organism lived relative to each other, and the resulting fossil record tells the story of the past to show the evolution of forms over millions of years. So case study, evolution of the modern horse. So how, for the study of phylogeny of horse, we will study the steps of evolution from the modern horse, because we know this horse very well now, right now. So highly detailed fossil records have been recorded or recovered from the sequences in the evolution of modern horses, and the fossil records of the horses in the North America is especially rich and contains transitional fossils, means fossil that shows intermediate stages between earlier and later forms. So fossil records extends back to a long and dog-like ancestor some 55 million years ago, which gave rise to the first horse-like species 55 to 42 million years ago in the genus Eohippus. So Eohippus was the species of horse that was uh, developed on Earth before 55 million years ago, and it was not so high, but it was very small species like dog. And the first equid fossil was found in the gypsum quarries in Mount in Montmartre, Paris. So this is the area of Paris where we found this fossil in the period of 18,020s. So the tooth was sent to the Paris Conservatory, where Georges Cuvier identified it as a browsing equining related to tapir. So tapir is the animal which looks like the horse, and it was like that, and its skeleton was matching with that particular animal from where it is collected. And the HMS Beagle survey expedition, Charles Darwin had remarkable success with fossil hunting in Patagonia. So in 1833 in Santa Fe, Argentina, he was filled with astonishment when he found a horse tooth in the same stratum as fossils of giant armadillos. Armadillos are some mammals, and wondered if it might have been washed down from a later layer, but concluded this was not very probable. In 1836, the anatomist Richard Owen confirmed the tooth was from an extinct species of Equus curvidens. The original sequence of species believed to have evolved into the horse was based on fossils which are discovered in North America in 1817. So, by paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh, the sequence from Equippus to modern horse Equus was popularized by Thomas Huxley and became one transitional fossil was assembled by the American Museum of Natural History into an exhibit that emphasized the gradual straight line evolution of the horse. So since then, as the number of equid fossils has increased, the actual evolutionary progression from Eohippus to Equus has been discovered to be much more complex and multi-branch than was initially supposed. So detailed fossil information on the rate and distribution of new equid species once believed. Although some transitions were indeed gradual progressions, a number of others were relatively abrupt in geologic time, taking place over only a few million years. Both anagenesis, a gradual change in an entire population's gene frequency, and cladogenesis, a population splitting into two distinct evolutionary branches, occurred and many species coexisted with ancestor species at various times. So, adaptations for grazing. The series of fossils tracks the change in an anatomy resulting from the gradual drying uh, trended that changed the landscape from a forested habitat to a prairie habitat. Early horse ancestors were originally specialized for tropical forest, while modern horses are now adapted to a life on drier land. So successive fossils show the evolution of teeth shapes and foot and leg anatomy to a grazing habitat or habit with adaptations for escaping predators. So this was the change that occurred in old or fossil animals, whereas the horse belonging to the order Perissodactyla means odd-toed ungulates, the members of which all share hooved feet and an odd number of toes on each foot as well as mobile upper leaves. A similar tooth structure was observed, and this means that the horses share a common ancestry with tapirs and rhinoceroses. So later species showed gains in size such as those of Hipparion, which existed from about 23 to 2 million years ago, and the fossils recorded show several adaptive gradations in the horse lineage, and which is now much reduced to only one genus Equus with several species. Paleontologists have been able to piece together a more complete outline of the modern horse's evolutionary lineage than that of any other animal. So key points is that the dog-like organism gave rise to a first horse ancestor 55 to 40 million years, and the fossil record shows modern horses moved from tropical forest to prairie habitats, developed teeth and grew in size. So this is the change that found. So I would like to concise this speech here, a small discussion with horses because they are looking like dog and tapirs.